Hello, my beautiful friends. I am Laurel Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls, welcoming you to this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, a podcast designed to help you rest, relax, and fall asleep, all while deepening in your connection with your beautiful team of angels who love you so. If we're meeting for the first time, I am an angelic practitioner, a spiritual teacher, and an encourager of souls. And you can learn more about my offerings at my website, illuminatingsouls.com, where you can also sign up for my mailing list. I do teach classes over Zoom, and I also offer one-on-one sessions. In addition, I post semi-regularly on my Facebook page, so there's lots of ways that we can connect, but for now, the angels and I are here to create a soothing, comforting, sweet space where you can replenish and connect. So each episode runs about an hour, and that's because as an avid listener of sleep podcasts, that is my preference. I really appreciate when I have an episode that runs an hour or so, because then I don't feel pressured to go to sleep. So we'll start off where we are now with the introduction, and then I'll ramble a bit and bring in the angels for you. And then we move on into story time. And there's lots of different kinds of story time. And I have a very sweet one for you for this episode. So I have really wanted to record this episode, and the truth is I have not had a lot of energy for things that require my attention right now. I'm a little bit all over the place, which is totally fine. Like, I'm doing okay. I just don't have a whole lot of task-focused energy right now, and it's not that the podcast requires any heavy lifting for me, but it does require some linear attention, which seems to be a little elusive for me. So as I sat down to record this, I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull some angel cards for us. Because I don't know if you know this, but I created my own angel oracle deck called the Earth Angels Oracle. And I must say, I love the readings it brings forward. And the reading it's bringing us for this episode is so lovely. We start off with manifestation. Your creations are taking form, and your intentions and actions are weaving together. And then the next card is prosperity. Financial abundance is flowing to you through known and unknown sources. And then the third card is magic. Oh, one of my favorite cards. Actually, all three of these cards are my favorite, which you will hear me say about every single card in this deck at some point or another. But this one says, you are so much more than you know. Allow your magic to blossom into the world. So we have manifestation, prosperity, and magic. Such a lovely triad of cards. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and just center yourself in your heart. And just allow yourself to breathe in each one of these invitations. So manifestation. Another word for this is co-creation. Then breathing in the quality of prosperity. And there's the sweetest affirmation around prosperity that I love to use. And it says, I am receiving money through known and unknown sources. It's a lovely one. Whenever I say that out loud, something magical happens, which brings us to the third card, magic. Who can't use a little more magic in the day, huh? or in the night, or whenever it is that it finds you. So here's to remembering your beautiful, magical heart. So if you are using this podcast to help you go to sleep, I want to invite you to get comfortable and cozy. I love bedtime, and so I look forward to going to bed at night. And so I'm just visualizing getting to curl up underneath lots of blankets and pillows and getting all cozy. And I do listen to sleep podcasts as I am falling asleep, including this one. It does work for me, for which I am deeply grateful. And then I know that many of you listen during your waking hours, and it is truly a blessing to keep you company as you go about your day. So whenever you are listening, I am grateful for this opportunity to keep you company. So I feel guided to call the angels in now. They're already here, but I love the opportunity to share them with you. So let's just take some nice deep breaths in and out as we gently call ourselves forward into the heart of God. And beautiful angels on high, we invite you to join us here. We are so very grateful for the opportunity to come together in the light. And angels, I ask that you bathe us with divine light and healing and inspiration and love, helping to clear from us anything we do not need to carry. So dear ones, just take some nice deep breaths in and out. And so with your permission, the angels will bring their energy closer to you as they are filling the space you are in with their soft pink light that is infused with love that has been calibrated just for you. That your angels know what is transpiring in your life and in your heart, and they are here to support you. So just breathe and allow yourself to receive their support. To just allow your breath to grow deep, visualizing this beautiful divine light all around you. And the angels are clearing your energy field, balancing your light body. And they are showing me that they are clearing away any stress or heaviness you are carrying on your shoulders and on your back. Just helping to clear that away. They seem to be doing a lot of clearing work around the neck and the throat. So just breathe and release. Just imagine this beautiful light is traveling in through your crown chakra at the top of your head and all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Connecting with divine source and divine love. Allowing divine goodness to wash over you. You know, as I record this, I wasn't quite sure what I would talk about. And that's not unusual for me. As a channel, I often come into spaces without utterly knowing what I will be saying. But here's what I knew. I wanted to love you. I wanted to bring forward messages of love to help you remember who you are, to help activate your knowingness so that you can really feel into the preciousness of your spirit, of who you are and your place here on earth. Listen, I know things are a bit chaotic right now. And there's not a whole lot we can do about that. But what we can do is we can love each other. Because love is one of these commodities that is graceful for people like us, meaning you and myself and our other 50 listeners. Love is one of those commodities that we can easily connect with. And so as you allow yourself to receive this divine love, it fortifies you. It helps you find center. It helps you to relax and reconnect with the beauty of your spirit. And I love the 3 cards the angels brought forward: manifestation, prosperity, and magic. It's like your path is blessed. Allow yourself to receive the blessings of your brighter tomorrows. I also have been feeling waves of the creative spirit as well, so I want to encourage you to explore your creativity. It doesn't mean you have to be really good at something. It just means pick up a pen and write. Open the pages of a coloring book and color. I'm crocheting right now. Find some way to infuse your life force into some physical creative activity. It is very, very good for our multidimensional balance right now. Those of you who listen on a regular basis may know that I usually record these episodes early in the morning, and I woke up this morning with every intention of recording the episode. And I sat down and I started crocheting, and I thought, oh, I need this. I need the rhythm of the yarn and the hook and the stitches. And so it's now mid-afternoon and I'm recording this. So best laid plans. You know, we're tuning into our self-care right now. What works best? What do we need? How do we show up in the world? And this is my opportunity to remind you that you are the greatest authority on you. So you may feel a different rhythm each day. Just make sure you pivot towards the light. Let the light find you. Let your angels love you. And so take a deep breath in and give your prayers and intentions to the angels. Share your heart with them, and they will amplify your prayers for you. So just take another breath in, and if you are preparing for sleep, just drift off whenever you feel like sleep is coming for you. And we're going to move on into story time. So for story time, we're going to wander a bit. I don't know why when I was contemplating this episode, I thought it's a little bit like Seinfeld, which wasn't really about anything, right? It was just wandering through life with their characters. And I think that's a little bit of what this episode is going to be like. I have another more structured episode that I will be recording soon, but I just don't feel like it today. So here's what our story time is going to be. Remember, this is a sleep podcast, so the bar is pretty low for me to create riveting content. I'm going to take you with me on what I did last weekend. And just so you know, it's not interesting. It's not like, oh, and then I went to New York and I rode on a hang glider. I mean, there is nothing terribly interesting about my weekend last weekend. But I'm pretty sure I can fill the next 40 minutes or so and keep us both mildly amused as I share with you some little snippets of how I spent last Saturday and Sunday. So there's a journal prompt or a conversation prompt that was written by Alexandra Franzen, who is a wonderful writing coach, and she does a lot of other things. But this is the prompt that I love. It asks us to contemplate, what are you freakishly good at? And she's not asking for the elevator speech. She's not asking for what you do for a living. So all of us are freakishly good at weird and wild things that most of the time we would not think about as a life skill. But I was in a group and I had posed this question and I had to answer it myself. And in that moment, I said, I am freakishly good at grocery shopping. I love grocery shopping. I know some people can't stand it. But if you've listened to this podcast, you know how food is my love language. And I do not even need to buy the food or eat the food. I just love being at grocery stores because they're enormous buildings filled with food. I mean, it's brilliant. And so it is not unusual for me to go to, and please don't judge me for this. Not that you would, but I'm embarrassed to say it out loud. I might go to 4 or 5 grocery stores in a week because each one has something different that I want. In addition to that, I love yarn. So my adventures last weekend involved grocery shopping, bakeries, and yarn. So those are the spoilers. There were no celebrity sightings. I didn't win the lottery. I meandered to, 2 bakeries, a couple of grocery stores, and 2 different Joanns. And if you're, sorry, there's a plane going overhead. Hold on. Okay, I think it's past. So Joann's, if you are not in the United States, Joann's is a craft and yarn store that is going out of business. Sadly, going out of business. And they're doing a liquidation sale. And it's not that their prices are great, but I think all of us who have shopped at Joann's keep going to them for nostalgic purposes. And so I did hit up 2 different Joann's over the weekend. I will also share with you about one of my very favorite grocery stores, Berkeley Bowl, because I did go there. So some rambles, we're going to wander. So, the world, kind of crazy right now. And on the weekends and when I'm not working, I find it necessary to focus on a couple of things. One is regulating my emotional body and my energetic body, engaging in things that delight me. And this past weekend, I felt like I needed to feast on delight. I just needed to be in places that delight me. So we'll start off on Saturday morning. So I decided that on Saturday I was going to go to Berkeley. My husband and I live in Vallejo, and I don't expect you to know where that is, but here's what you do need to know. Berkeley is about 20 miles south of here, and it involves paying an $8 toll to get over the bridge. I only mention that because it is not unusual for me to try to decide if I feel like paying an $8 toll to simply go 20 minutes away. And I did. So on Saturday, I said, Berkeley it is. I didn't even invite my husband because he would think this was a horrible day. So he stayed home and watched his Westerns or something on television. So Berkeley Bowl opens at 9 a.m. And there's a cute little bakery called Acme Bakery on San Pablo Boulevard in Berkeley. And I think they open at 8 a.m. And It's not that it's my favorite bakery in the world, but it's teeny tiny and people line up outside to wait to go in because only about 3 people can go inside the bakery at a time. And I don't know why, but last Saturday morning it felt like a life romance thing to go and wait in line at Acme for some kind of nosh, some sort of delicious tidbit. And then I would go to Berkeley Bowl, which is what I did. So I waited in line with about 20 other people for Acme. They were already open, but I had to wait my turn. And, I couldn't quite decide what to get, but I always get the same thing, so I don't know why I struggle. So I bought a piece of their focaccia pizza that I did not eat. It's in my freezer. And I've talked with you about this before. I am on Ozempic, which I love. And the weird experience I have with it is I still love food and I still want to secure the goods. And then I do not have to eat them. So it goes in my freezer. And yes, I am aware of how weird that is. But what are you going to do? Life is lifing. And so there I was at Acme, and it was my turn to pick stuff. So I did my focaccia pizza. I did a little cinnamon roll because their cinnamon rolls are not overly sweet. And then I got an apple turnover because those are Wes's favorite, even though he doesn't necessarily like the ones from Acme, but I got one anyways. Oh, and I forgot to tell you what I did before Acme. I just remembered. I actually stopped at Boy Chick Bagels. Okay, I can't believe I forgot that. So, Boy Chick Bagels opened up in Berkeley, I don't know, about 4 years ago. And they make New York style bagels that are awesome. And so it was on the way to Acme. So I stopped at Boy Chick Bagels and I picked up 2 raisin cinnamon bagels for Wes and 2 egg everything bagels for me. So I did the bagels first. And if you know anything about fresh bagels, the car smells delicious for hours afterwards. And then I did Acme, and I got a good parking space, because Berkeley parking karma is a real thing, so I got a good parking space. And then it was time to go over to Berkeley Bowl. Berkeley Bowl is one of the best supermarkets ever, especially if you love produce. They have one of the largest produce sections I've ever witnessed. So, next time you go to your grocery store, pay attention to how many varieties of apples they have. And then quadruple it, and that's the number of apple varieties that Berkeley Bowl has when it is apple season. Now, before the pandemic, when I was looking for a new variety of apple, I would ask one of the produce people, and they would take out their little pocket knife and they would sample different apples for me, which is like a wine tasting but with apples. And I found so many interesting varieties that way, and actually that was the way I found Envy apples, which are now much more popular, but 4 years ago I had never tried one, which is now my apple of choice. So I thought I would share with you some of the varieties of apples that they had at Berkeley Bowl this past weekend. And I have even gone and looked them up so I can tell you what kind they are. So, some of these you may have heard of, some of them you may not. So, Sweet Tango apples, Rome Beauty. Now I know Rome Beauties because my mother used to bake with those. Autumn Glory apples, Fuji apples, which of course we're all familiar with, as well as Granny Smith apples, Brayburn apples, Envy, of course my favorite, Ever Crisp apples, Sunrise Magic apples. How many of those have you heard of before? So let me share with you a couple of them that I saw on the list, and then I'll read to you what they are. So they had a kind of apple called Wild Twist. It sounds like it would be delicious, right? And this is from the grower's website. So Wild Twist. 2 legendary apples have come together in a wild twist. The explosively juicy crunch of Honeycrisp, combined with the intricate flavor of Crips Pink, creates an experience you won't want to miss. So it's a partnership of Eastern and Western orchards and the perfect balance of sweet and tart flavors. So I have not tried that one, so I cannot speak to it. Another apple variety they had is something called Sunrise Magic. And listen, just from the names of these apples, I think it would be fun to be on an apple naming committee, because these are great, great names. So what they say on their website, hello sunshine. I don't know why that delights me so. Hello sunshine. I just sit up a little straighter and I'm like, thank you. So, hello sunshine. Make every day shine with the delightfully sweet flavor and gorgeous sunny color of Sunrise Magic apples. Grown in Washington State, where the climate is ideal for flourishing orchards. So I have no idea what they taste like, but I just love their marketing. And then we have Jazz apples, which I think I have tried, but I don't recall them. So Jazz apples, a trademarked brand of the Sky Fresh cultivar, are a cross between Royal Gala and Braeburn, known for their crisp, tangy, sweet flavor and juicy, dense flesh, and are available year-round due to global cultivation. So they were originated in New Zealand, and the original cross was made in 1985, and the apple was launched commercially in 2004. The flavor is described as a balanced blend of sweet and tangy with a hint of pear drop notes. Okay, and here's Sweet Tango. Sweet Tango apples, a cross between a Honeycrisp and a Zestar. I have no idea what a Zestar is, but I love the name. They are known for their sweet and tangy flavor. I typically stay away from things that are tangy or tart because I can't handle them, but the Envy apple to me is the perfect apple, followed by the Opal apple. I love that. And just as an aside, when I was researching for this episode, because I researched, there is a website called Apple Ranking where the writer rates all the different apples, and so Envy was rated fairly high, I have to say. I think it was like number 4 or something. Let me see if there's any other apple flavors I can share with you. Hang on, I'm going through the pictures on my phone. So we already talked about Wild Twist and Sunrise Magic. In addition to many different kinds of apples, and of course they had Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, all the kinds you'd think that they would have. They had Honeycrisp. Then they had so many different kinds of grapes. And I am a grape person, and I'm that obnoxious person who actually has to taste a grape before I buy a bunch of them, because if it's too tart or has no flavor or is mealy, I'm not going to buy it. So I always have to taste the grape before I buy it. So they had Green Globe grapes. It will interest you to know that I did not buy any grapes when I was at Berkeley Bowl. But I did buy some delicious grapes at Walmart of all places. And I think they were Autumn Crisp, which is my favorite variety, in addition to Kyoho grapes. So even though I'm going to tell you what kind of grapes they had at Berkeley Bowl, I did not buy any of them. They had a red seedless grape called Gumdrop. There's all these candy flavored grapes now, which you would think I would love because I love candy and I love grapes, but I do not like them. Like the cotton candy grapes, I don't like. It confuses my taste buds. So perhaps I'm kind of a grape purist. Then they had Timson grapes, not to be confused with Thompson grapes, which are green, and they are coming from Peru. They had something called Melody Black seedless grapes, also from Peru. So thank you, Peru, for lovely grapes. Pristine grapes, which are green. And then they also had red muscat grapes. Muscats can be very good. I love those as well. They also have a green grape called Ivory Green, which were grown in Chile. I love that they put down where the grapes are coming from. And something called Timco grapes. So I could spend forever at Berkeley Bowl looking at all of the different produce. And this time of year, they were big in apples and lots of citrus, which I don't get very excited about because I can't really eat much in the way of citrus anymore. But I still enjoy looking at everything. I'm trying to think of what else I got when I was there. Oh, you know what? I got, sorry. Maybe I shouldn't tell. I'm thinking, like, are you really interested in what I purchased at the grocery store? They have this vegan chocolate pudding that's truly delicious, and I bought some of that. And there's a nut mix that I like that they have that I bought. And I think I bought some apples, Envy, of course. And I bought an opal apple. And I bought some stuff for my husband. So that was my Berkeley Bowl adventure. So far on Saturday, I went to Boy Chick Bagels, Acme Bakery, Berkeley Bowl. Okay, so that was the grocery shopping part of my morning. And then I went to Joann Fabrics, the one in El Cerrito. So it was sort of on the way. Now, here's the thing about Joann's liquidation sale. I think all of us that are crafters and love Joann's, we're just sad that they're going out of business. Some venture capitalist company just, I don't know what happened, but somehow they have filed for bankruptcy and the crafting community is very sad. So it's now not Joann's anymore, even though it has the name Joann's, but a liquidation company is running the liquidation sale and the prices are not very good. But it's the last of the yarn. As if I need more yarn, right? As if I do not have enough yarn. But I had to go. I have to say goodbye to each of my Joann stores. There are about 4 in our area. So I went to that one. And I did purchase a couple of skeins of yarn of a lovely teal color, a pink color, and then they have a variegated lilac and light green yarn that I have some already, but I bought a bonus. I bought an extra just in case because, I'm never going to be able to get it again. And then the same parking lot where the Joann's is, there's a Trader Joe's. Pretty convenient, right? And there was a teeny tiny farmer's market that I did walk through, but I got nothing because nothing appealed to me. And I do go to Trader Joe's at least once a week. I have not been to that Trader Joe's in a long time, but I did a lot of my shopping there. They were out of one thing that I wanted, which were these yummy cracker sandwiches. But other than that, I was able to get everything I needed from that particular Trader Joe's run. And then I went home. Because that was a lot, right? I'd gotten up early in the morning and I ran my errands and I think I probably got home, I don't know, somewhere around noon or something like that. And then I sat home with Wes and we watched television and I crocheted and he did things. I don't even know what he did. We're just so happy. We just both kind of sit on the couch and we each do our thing and we keep each other company and it's very cozy. Okay, so that brings us to Sunday. Now, I cannot remember if I have told you about the obsession I have with this specific pie that I get in Sacramento. I have been sharing about this pie quite a bit, so it is entirely possible we have already talked about this pie, but it is worthy of talking about. So let me introduce you to my favorite pie now in the world. It is an apple blueberry pie with a streusel top, made by the Real Pie Company in Sacramento. So they used to sell it at one of our local markets. And I bought it for the first time after the holidays because they had it by the slice. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get a slice for Wes. Quote, air quotes, for Wes. Because then I would get to have a bite. And I typically don't want more than a bite of something like that. But I took a bite and it was a revelation. It was simply the very best pie I had ever eaten in my life. And we then dubbed it, or I dubbed it, let's be specific, I dubbed it emergency pie. Meaning, if the world is in chaos and bad things are happening, we will need a supply of emergency pie. If I am expected to get through these moments in time, we will need emergency pie. So, over the past 2 months, I have made it my business to get emergency pie for us. So, I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago that I did my first foray up to Sacramento for a pie. And we ate it. It was very good. And then this past weekend, I said to Wes, now realize I already have some of this pie in my freezer, but I think I've already mentioned I get really obsessive. I said, I think we're going to need more pie. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the world, but we're going to need more pie. I love that I have a husband that just goes, oh, sure, that makes sense. So on Sunday, what I did is I got up early again. Now my pie place in Sacramento does not open until 11, but there's a line, so you want to get there a little early. And I knew that the Joann's up in Vacaville opened at 10. So I first hit up the Trader Joe's in Fairfield to try and find the crackers that I could not get at El Cerrito. So that would be my second Trader Joe's stop of the weekend. And I was victorious. They did have my crackers. And when I went to the shelf that had the crackers, there was an older woman looking at that exact box of crackers, and it looked like the shelf was not full. And I thought, oh, please let there be more of these crackers. She cannot buy the last box. And so I had to hang back so I did not look overly eager, like I was stalking her for these crackers. So she took her box and she walked away, and I pushed my cart up towards the box, and she turned around as if she was contemplating buying a second box, which I understand because they are worthy of buying multiples. And so I kind of danced with her a little bit because I was not going to try and, bully my way into crackers. But then she got, she got waylaid by some other kind of chip or something. And so I put 3 boxes of the crackers in my cart and made sure I did not buy the last one in case she wanted to come back, because these things matter if we want to live in a civilized society, And I cannot remember if I told you about these crackers. I think I have, but they are the everything but the bagel cracker sandwich, like sandwiches with the cream cheese in the middle, and they're delicious. Okay, so again, if the world is going to spin off its axis, I'm going to need emergency pie and a healthy supply of crackers. like I have my priorities straight. So we finish up with Trader Joe's, we meaning me. Nobody was with me. So I finish up at Trader Joe's, and then I drive up towards Vacaville, which is about 15 minutes north. So I go to Vacaville and I go to the Joann's, which again, very sad place. Sad, sad, sad. And I bought another couple skeins of yarn. You know, because I'm never going to be able to find yarn again. I don't know, but old time's sake, you know. And so I bought more yarn. And then, so I didn't do anything else at that point. Then I make my way up to the Real Pie Company. Now, when I was there the last time, there was a little bit of a line right before they opened. But it wasn't an intimidating line. It wasn't a all the way down the block kind of line. But I knew that a line could be involved. So they opened at 11 and I got there at like 10:02. And I was the first car in the parking lot. And so rather than waiting in my car, because I knew that a line might happen, I went to the door and just stood. And wouldn't you know that by the time they opened, the line was down the block. So way to go, Real Pie Company. And so I'm first in line, and I said, I need a apple blueberry pie. And she goes, a whole one? I'm like, oh yes. like of course a whole one. I didn't really say that, but in my head I'm thinking for sure a whole one. And I bought a couple other things. And then as they were getting ready to give me my pie, I said, you know, how many do you have? Like, do you have plenty? Because could I maybe buy a second one? Because now I'm in full obsession mode, thinking one emergency pie might not be enough. And I want to be able to bring emergency pie to my cousins in San Jose when I go see them. And so the owner was so nice. He went back and he looked and he says, I don't know. He says, we're trying not to sell out. And I said, I completely understand. So if you cannot sell me a second pie, it's okay. He goes, thank you for being so nice about it. I said, of course. Listen, people need pie. And I know this sounds so silly, but I was so happy. I was thinking of humanity as we were buying the pie. And of course, I could not buy all the pie. I couldn't buy all the crackers either because, listen, we have to look out for each other, right? So he went in back and he goes, you know what? I can sell you the second pie. I was like, oh, thank you. You are so kind. He's like, it's okay. I said, thank you. I came all the way from Vallejo. You know, like I came across the plains in a covered wagon for 4 months. I drove up from Vallejo, which is really only, I don't know, half-hour drive. So I have now secured 2 emergency pies, which are in our freezer. We have a chest freezer in the garage. And I still had other emergency pie in the freezer. And just so you know, I do have a good therapist that I talk to about these things, so you don't have to worry. But Ozempic brain, the obsession to secure the goods is still there. And then I don't have to eat it. I really don't understand this at all. But truly one of the pies is to go to my cousins. So I was so excited. I got up early. I got 2 pies. They're in my freezer. I talked to the owner. We bonded on the need for pie. You know, there's moments in life where I feel so seen and so understood. As the line of people was going out the door for pie on a Sunday morning. And I thought, oh, I'm with my people. We are the people who require pie on Sunday mornings. Just like the people I lined up with on Saturday at Acme Bakery. Like there is just something very bonding about procuring baked goods in the morning. And I don't even have to eat them. I just want to buy them. Okay, so, all right, so we have completed the pie mission. And then, as I was driving to get pie like a week or two ago, I noticed that there was a food co-op in Davis. So Davis is a college town south of Sacramento and north of Vacaville. It's okay if you don't know where that is, that I've never been to. Like, are you kidding me? A food co-op? Another grocery store that I have not been to yet? Sign me up. So I put it into my little Apple Maps, and I leave the pie place, and now I start driving to the Davis co-op. Well, Davis is an adorable town. So cute. I said to Wes, we have to spend more time there because it's very sweet there. And the co-op did not disappoint. It was a phenomenal, just see what you would think of a co-op. It's kind of a blend between your local health food store and Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, right? A really cool place where you can get a sandwich made, and there's a bakery, and there's salads and cheese, all those good things. So then I had another delightful food experience at the cheese counter. So I've shared with you before that at our Whole Foods in Napa, they put out a little bucket with little odds and ends of cheese that might cost $2 or $3, right? If they're cutting a block of cheese and they have some left over, they wrap up little tidbits that you can then buy, which is perfect for me because Wes doesn't really eat cheese and I do not want a whole block of cheese. It's just not a good idea. So the two women working at the cheese counter were so nice and were recommending cheeses to me. And there was one cheese, I don't remember the name, but they let me try it. And I thought, oh, this is a good cheese. Thank you. But I wasn't going to buy any. And then I pushed my cart away from the cheese station and I went over to the frozen foods. And then I noticed that the flavor just kept getting better. Like the further away from the cheese counter I got, the better this cheese tasted. So of course I had to circle back. And I said, oh, I'm going to need some of that cheese. Like, yes, please. So they cut off a little bit for me. And I bought that. So I bought a couple things of cheese while I was there. And I don't remember what else. But I did go to the Davis Co-op. So another grocery store adventure. And then I think also, I don't know when I did this, but our Safeway, which is our regular grocery store, there's quite a number of Safeways in our area, but one of them in Vallejo is closing, so everything is 25% off. And I thought, oh, I should go and see if I can get detergent and bags and things like that. So at some point I did go there and bought a few things. And then I came home and I crocheted some more and hung out with Wes. Oh, I'm just remembering this now. Listen, I know this is all rambly, and I do not expect you to be entertained. Also, I think on Saturday, Wes and I went to Concord because there is a place he likes to go. And I hit up another Joann. So I think I hit up 3 Joanns last weekend, which pretty much runs the gamut of my local Joanns. I almost went to another Joann's that's about 40 minutes away today, and I thought, Laurel, stop. Just stop. You have more than enough yarn. It'll be okay. So that was my weekend of delight. I just knew I needed to go and do things that delighted me. And it involved bakeries and grocery stores and yarn shopping. And then sitting home with my husband, and I crocheted. And pretty much that's what I'm doing right now to regulate my nervous system. So I don't know what you're doing. What weird stuff are you doing? I don't know. So this weekend, I don't think I'm going to do what I did last weekend. It is Friday as I record this. I'm taking Wes to get his hair cut tomorrow, so that'll be fun. And I don't think we have any plans. I'm going to do a little bit of work, and I'll crochet some more. And I'll probably edit this podcast episode. So there you go. I'll get to spend some more time with you, which will be lovely. So that's my life right now. And listen, we have to delight ourselves in ways that are not harmful, that are uplifting and inspiring and bring joy. And for me, a good grocery store does that. Seriously, like, how could we not be in wonder of giant buildings filled with all kinds of food? I love a good grocery store. I love to just wander and see what's on the shelves. And then I also love to be a voyeur and see what other people are buying. Especially at a place like Berkeley Bowl, they have a lot of food for a refined palate. So whenever I see somebody, with the baguette and the special cheeses and the expensive chocolate bars and, some dried fruit or something, I think, I bet they're having friends over for wine or something. I bet there is going to be a good time where that cart goes. I don't know. I make up stories about people and what they're buying from the grocery store. It amuses me. I do the same thing with people at Home Goods. Like I find it remarkable that people can actually pick things out at Home Goods that match, because I just get very overwhelmed. So that's what I got for you. And I feel like I should apologize because this episode is so ordinary, but ordinary is so good right now, right? Like, I just want to be bored for a little while. When someone says what's going on, nothing, it's all good. Like, I could just use some boring, lovely, restful, sweet, inspiring moments in time. I want to be comforted. I want to love. I want to laugh. I want to swim in an ocean of delight. So life is good. And I'm so grateful for you. And God bless your heart if you listen to this long. Because now I think you know everything you need to know about me. If you got through this episode and you still think you want to hang out with me, we're going to be good friends. Because pretty much this is me. So I love you and I wish you the sweetest of dreams. And I will be back again soon with another episode. Perhaps that one will be a little more organized and interesting. So we'll talk again soon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.